It's time for the Income for Life Daily Dime. Reactions and analysis on important financial news that impacts you in 10 minutes or less. Brought to you by the podcasting pros at Third Wheel Media. If you're a financial professional, estate planning attorney, real estate agent, or any small business owner, Third Wheel Media has a podcasting production package that fits your needs. Visit thirdwheelmedia.com to find out more. Now, here's today's Daily Dime.
Welcome to the Income for Life Daily Dime, powered by Third Wheel Media and our partners at Folds of Honor. Our quick hit discussion in 10 minutes or less about a topic and a conversation that is currently pressing out in the financial and retirement planning world. And I'm here with my partner, Nick Schilling, as we discuss a really interesting topic that is going on right now. Kind of has been going on for a while, Nick. And it is an article that we have from CBS News that is titled The Great Reshuffling: How the Real Estate Market Exploded. I think everybody would agree, Nick, that what's going on right now in the real estate market is crazy when it comes to the really low interest rates, and the houses are just flying off. We have friends that have sold their house inside of 12 hours. There's a lot of reasons for that. But let's jump into this, Nick, about this great reshuffling real quick in our 10-minute or less Daily Dime show. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think, Matt, it's a topic that we wanted to touch on simply because we hear it from a lot of our peers and a lot of our clients because of what's happening in everybody's local market. The home market has boomed, and a lot of that has been done because of the lower interest rates, the forced lower interest rates from our government, making it very easy to either refinance or get a new mortgage. But then also when it comes down to with the clients that we work with, Matt, we have a bunch of pre-retirees to people in retirement, we'll just call them boomers or beyond, that are really looking at what their current home situation is and saying, should we take advantage of this? Because our home has appreciated. Is now the time to downsize. We don't need 4,000 square feet and 5 bedrooms. We want a couple extra rooms for when the kids come over and the grandkids. But we don't need all this space. We don't need all these utilities. We don't need all of these things. But the thing that's changed right now is that segment of retirees that are looking at these homes are now competing with the younger generations of millennials that are changing the way that they're looking at homes. Because of the pandemic, they're looking at working remotely, using the home as kind of a home office, as a spread to be able to do work at whatever company they're at or their own entrepreneurship. And they're bidding up with the low interest rates a lot of these homes in different marketplaces that our boomers are having to compete with.
They're literally colliding.
That's a great word.
Whenever you're looking at the retiree generation that wants to downsize, maybe they have some equity and cash built up in that house, but they want to downsize. But then you got the younger generation that wants that first starter home or wherever it might be.
Yep.
So they're literally colliding on the same type of home, in which the building opportunity of homes is not there like it was a year, 2, 5 years ago.
That's a great point.
Because there is no availability of lumber. There's labor that is gone. There's a lot of reasons why these existing houses are on the market for 10 hours and they're sold.
The pandemic has caused a lot of supply chains of materials to be very tight. And it's also increased some of the prices of commodities like lumber and different things that are going to be used to create your new build. So many of these two different segments are looking at this and saying, well, if I can, mortgage something for 30 years, I want it right now. I need it right now. So I'm going to bid it up. And then you got the retirees coming down saying, well, we got a chunk of cash from the sale of our other home. Now you're going to use cash against a mortgage that the millennials are doing. And it's really coming down to a real discussion in retirement planning of how much cash do you want to use in a bidding war with millennials that are going to use a mortgage at historically low interest rates
that could bid up then.
And that's what's happening nationally. I think the average of homes from April of last year to April of this year are up over 11%.
And we have some numbers on this in this
Correct.
article from CBS News. So Nick, go through some of these numbers because everybody understands that, oh my gosh, whenever I want to sell my house right now because I can get so much more out of it than above and beyond appraisal value, things like that.
Correct.
But you actually have some examples of some areas of how much that is. So what do you got in this article?
And that's key to it. So nationally, it is 11.2% of an increase. an appreciation in the overall housing market nationally. But you start getting into very specific local markets, like an example in this article is Boise, Idaho, that's up almost 33%.
33%. My God, think about that.
When you get a third appreciation on a house, it's a big deal. So people are looking to make moves because the housing markets are booming and everything's roaring. But it really comes down to, why is it roaring? Well, it's a roaring kind of almost bubble-ish thing because of these historically low interest rates. And then you have a large group, the largest group in our nation, that are retiring or retired, that have the abundance of cash. Not just cash from selling their home, but they have extra cash because they're retired, they've worked, they've saved, they've done everything. But it really comes down in retirement planning to, how do you want to use that cash in a downsizing situation when you're competing against younger generations that are thinking, well, I'm just going to amortize this mortgage over 30 years. We can bid it up. What's another $100,000 or $50,000 on top of this? Because it adds $100 a month to my mortgage. Doesn't matter to
Doesn't matter to them. And the seller doesn't care. The seller loves this market right now.
Yes.
Because there's actually an example where in this article in CBS News, they were interviewing someone that was in the process of selling their house. And it says in here, this person recently sold her house here, and the experience was incredible. She said, we had over 150 people walk through in 2 days, which was pretty mind-blowing. We had 9 offers, half of those for cash. And I'm still here because the buyer is allowing me to live here 5 months rent-free. So when you hear these stories, and that's a pretty extreme story, of course, but when you hear this about how the seller's market is off the chart, you have millennials that are trying to buy that first house and they cannot build that new house because of the lumber and the labor shortages. Then you have the retirees that are wanting to downsize and use cash. That is a recipe for disaster for a lot of people moving forward, because I don't want to spend all of my nest egg having to outbid somebody else.
Correct.
So that collision that we're dealing with is why we're bringing this up today.
And whenever there's this much irrationality,
perfect word,
in the marketplace, another story in this article is the bidding process got so heated in one specific marketplace that the new buyers not only bid up the home that they were buying, but said that they would buy the seller's next home for them.
Unbelievable.
And it's all because when you're talking interest rates this low, if you get a segment of people that have excess income coming in and they're looking at this and they want to be the winner in that neighborhood to get the thing, when there's this much irrationality in a market, we really got to think about, especially when you're on a fixed income, you have a nest egg of savings. Do you want to get into this almost boiler that's bubbling of a marketplace? And then if you do want to get into it, what cash are you going to use?
How far do you want to go?
How far do you want to go? Do you want to use the cash in tax purposes for if you sell one house? Yeah, you want to use it to buy the next one. But do you want to use additional cash? Additional cash in a bidding war to be able to do it. It really comes down to everybody's unique situation, your housing market, where you want to move to, and it comes down to a unique conversation with you and your family and your goals and objectives. Don't get caught up in the hustle and bustle. Really look at it. It can be a great time for you, but it might not be the perfect time depending on your situation.
Great conversation here on the Income for Life Daily Dime, our quick hit discussions on a pressing topic in 10 minutes or less. Again, powered by our partners and affiliates at Folds of Honor and Third Wheel Media. We hope you enjoyed our quick Daily Dime talking about the great reshuffling, how the real estate market has exploded. And until next time, bye-bye for now.
This has been the Income for Life Daily Dime. Reactions to and analysis of the important financial news of the day in 10 minutes or less. For help with your financial and retirement plan, call 888-228-8814 or visit incomeforlife.org. The Daily Dime is brought to you by the podcasting pros at Third Wheel Media. Do you need a turnkey solution to launching and maintaining your own podcast? We have packages for business professionals that provide you with content, editing, posting, social media, and all the steps in between. We can make the podcasting process simple and effective. Book a free consultation at thirdwheelmedia.com and mention you heard about us on the Daily Dime for access to an exclusive discount on our services. That's thirdwheelmedia.com. Information provided on today's show is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information is obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but their accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. Always consult with a qualified professional before taking any action.